All right, welcome to today's training. In today's training, we're going to be talking about web design and the business of it, part 2. Right, the part 1 of this particular training is the video right before this one on the channel. So if you've not watched it, you do well to go back and see what we've talked about in that particular training. Right, you need to go back to see what we talked about in that particular training. Right, in that training we talked about what websites are, why you need to learn a web design skill, what is web consulting, which I term the business of web design, the hard way to build websites, and I revealed the simple way, and also how you can become a web consultant in 30 minutes. And also we talked about how to monetize the web design skill and all of those good stuff. So if you've not watched this video training, which is web design and the business of it part 1, you do well to go back to that training and get started with that. Now to today's training, we're talking about web design and the business of it part 2. Right, so in today's training you're going to watch me, because today's training is going to be a practical class. You're going to watch me build a full-blown website in 30 minutes, right? A full-blown website in 30 minutes, and how you can do the same for yourself and for clients and earn a recurring income doing so. So what am I talking about? So in today's training, I'm going to show you practically from A to Z, from getting a domain, from getting a hosting account, how to link them up, to setting up your website from A to Z, right? And when I've shown you that, you can then do that for yourself, for your own business, right? And also you can be able to do that for clients and earn a recurring income doing so. Now, why a recurring income? Right, I told you in this particular training series, I'm going to show you how to monetize the business, how to monetize the skill of web design, which I call web consulting, the business of web design. So you're going to see how you can earn a recurring income from a website job you've done once. Right, it could be a monthly recurring income, it could be it could be quarterly recurring income, it could be every 6 months, it could be every year, it could be termed a maintenance fee for the website. Right, so this is an amazing skill that you need to learn, and let's just jump right in. So in today's training, we're going to covering what I call web authoring. Right, web authoring, and I'd want to say that's the first thing you would have to do before you jump on to start creating a website. Ever before you get your domain or your hosting plan, that's something you need to put in mind, web authoring. And that will also take in planning, so you know exactly the kind of websites you want to build, what goes where, how it's going to look, and all of that good stuff. Right, so you're going to do web authoring. So web authoring may involve you writing content, getting the images, the designs, the graphics that's going to come on your website, and also maybe planning the user interface of how it's going to be. So this will also involve some form of research and maybe copywriting and content writing, like I've mentioned, and also it's going to inform your choice of theme and all of that. Right, so that's all about web authoring. Then we're going to be talking about how to buy a domain. You know, I told you when you want to build a website, there are 2 things you need first, which is a domain and a hosting, where your domain is like the address of your website, right, and the unique address of your website, while the hosting is like the house, right, that houses or that stores the information, the web content that will be on your website. Then after that, we'll look at hosting, Cpanel overview. Right, then we'll look at A to Z of WordPress. We're talking about themes, we'll talk about plugins, and so much more. Right, so just to get started, so first and foremost, we'll be looking at web authoring. Now, first things first, before you go ahead to get your domain or your hosting, web authoring is something you should consider first. Right, I would combine web authoring to your planning and also your research stage, because like the saying goes, an hour spent in planning can save you 10 hours in executing. So before you jump ahead to say, okay, I want to build a website, right? Okay, now as a web consultant, maybe not your own personal website, or even if it's your own personal website, first of all, the website is going to have an aim. You're not just building it for building's sake, right? What is the aim? What goal do you seek to achieve with your website? Just the same way a graphic design has an aim to achieve, same thing with your website, and even much more. So web authoring which also adds to your planning and research stage, involves you coming up with the content in terms of text and images that's going to be on your website, right? And thankfully, in the next series of training, we're going to be covering content writing and copywriting, right? So that's going to cover all of that. So I'm not going to be doing that today, but it's important to note that before you jump on designing your website, you need to figure out the content in terms of text and images that are going to be on the website, the designs, the videos, and also it will also inform the user interface, how you want it to look like, right? So the user interface, that will also inform your choice of a theme. Now, we may not know what a theme is, but that's one of the things we're going to cover in the course of this training, right? But first things first, before you jump ahead to start designing your website, web authoring, research, and planning is something you should do. And like I said, this involves you coming up with the text and content that's going to be on your website. So like I said, in this particular training, it's going to be a practical class, so I'm going to be showing you how things are done, but web authoring is not part of what I'll be showing you in this video. In our next training series, we'll be talking about content writing and copywriting, so maybe we would cover that. And also, as part of web authoring, you have images and graphics and design, so we've already covered that. So if you've not watched that particular training, you may want to check on the channel. You're going to see our training on design, and also in a few days you also see our training on content and copywriting that's going to cover or answer the question of web authoring. So for this particular training is dedicated to actually setting up your website, getting your domain, and everything from the ground up, right? And just to mention, if you've not subscribed to the channel, you may want to do so. Also like the video, and also if there's any question in the course of me teaching, you can leave it as a comment, so I'll go through the comments and give you the responses. So first things first, web authoring, planning, and research. So this stage involves you understanding the goal of your website, and that will now inform how your website will look, the user interface, right? The content, the copy, the images, the graphics, the videos. This is the stage where you put out all of that together. So once that has been answered, right, we move to the next stage, which is your domain and hosting plan. Now, in the previous video, which is web design and the business of it part 1, we covered what a domain name is and what a hosting plan is. So, but just for the purpose of this particular training, I'll just say a domain name is simply the name, the unique name string, right, of your website. Now, a web browser is where you input your domain name. So for instance, an example of a domain name could be google.com. So if you want to visit the website google.com or Google, you have to enter the domain name google.com, and it's a unique name. No two websites have the same domain name, so that's a domain name you'd want to so meaning your domain name would have to be something maybe that reflects the kind of business you are into, right? Or something that communicates maybe communicates something about your brand or all of that, right? And also we need a hosting plan. So the hosting plan is like the house, like I mentioned in introduction, that houses all the content, all the web content that are found on your website. So the text, the images, the videos, they are all hosted or stored somewhere, right? That's the hosting plan. So it's like the house. So the domain name is the address of that house, so that when the domain name is put on any browser, it's going to take the browser directly to that address, which is to that house. So it will not display the content of the content or the information you have stored in your house, which is the hosting in this case. So if you want to get a very very simple explanation to understanding how website works and all of that, so you may refer to the part 1 of this video training, right? So now there are different websites out there that are domain registrars that sells domains. So I'm going to be opening my laptop, my browser. I'm going to be going through just a few, but I'm going to be mentioning them very quickly. So we have GoDaddy. They are a website domain name registrar. So you can just go to godaddy.com to maybe purchase your domain. godaddy.com. We have godaddy.com. We have namecheap.com. This is namecheap.com. We have godaddy.com. So these are just the two examples I would mention here, right? So these guys actually sell a domain. So what is a domain? So it's just for you to come here and say, okay, I want to create a website, and I'm trying to come up with a name for my website. So I can say google.com. So when I say google.com and I search, they're going to tell me it's not available, because like I tell you, a domain name has to be unique. So if it has been taken, right, the domain registrar, they have like a directory of all the domains and all of that. So even if I try it on godaddy.com, so even if you buy a domain on godaddy.com and you come to try it on google.com, it's going to show you that it's taken, because domain names are unique. And like you see, google.com was registered in 1997, right? So it's there. So I cannot buy it, although there's an option to make an offer, because some people actually buy and sell domains. That's the kind of business they are into. But of course, this is a known company and the domain is not for sale, right? So I could just say tobydavis.com. So probably this is the domain I want to get, right? And it's going to search it out, and awesome, it's available. tobydavis.com has not been taken, and I think I'm going to buy this domain just for the purpose of this demonstration, and also of course that's my name as well. So as you can see, it's $9.58 per year for first buy, and then it has $13.98 per year for the following year, right? So this is the domain name, and now this is Namecheap. I can do the same on GoDaddy, right? You can also search for your domain here on GoDaddy. So whatever domain registrar you're using, it doesn't really matter, but I'm very comfortable with Namecheap, and I recommend it because it's super easy to use, and also they have an awesome support. So if you don't know how to do anything, just to chat up their support and you'll be good. So just to show you the process, so searching on GoDaddy too, as you can see, tobydavis.com is also available, exact match, and it's for the first year with 3 registration. So that is the price. These are the price, so I can add to cart and all of that. So there are different domain registrars. We have godaddy.com, we have namecheap.com, we have a number of them, right? So you can just go there to buy your domain. Then the same thing with hosting companies. Namecheap also doubles as a hosting company. As you can see, they sell domains, they also sell hosting plans. The same thing as GoDaddy. They sell domains. Let me just go to their main. They sell domains, they also sell hosting plans. But we'll be doing this demonstration with Namecheap, right? Because the processes are exactly the same. Everything is the same. It's just for you to select what you want to buy, and you add to cart and you make payments. Once you make payments, we move to the next stage of this training. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to buy this particular domain, and also after I do that, I'm going to go ahead to also buy a hosting plan. Now, if you're coming to Namecheap for the first time, you may want to create an account. For instance, I'm already logged into my own account, right? So it's free to create an account. So why you want to create an account is so that all the domains, I can buy this domain, I can buy another one for a client, I can buy another one, all of them will be inside my Namecheap account, right? So it organizes all your purchases with them. So, and it is free to create. So if you're coming here for the first time, it's going to ask you to create an account and all of that. So once you search for your domain and you even add to checkout, you're going to create an account automatically and all of that. So I'm going to be adding this to my cart, right? The domain. So I promised you to show you everything step by step. So immediately I add the domain to my cart, right? I've added it to my cart. So they're going to tell you SSL VPN. Now SSL is very important. We're going to cover it in the course of this training. Now they're telling me hosting and all of that, so you just leave all of that blank. I think I have something else on my card, so I'll check that because it's supposed to be less than this, but no problem about that. So having selected the domain, then you come to hosting. Now you want to click on shared hosting, because they have different kind of hosting plan. They have reseller hosting plan, they have WordPress hosting, but you want to click on shared hosting. So I'll just click on shared hosting. So when you come to shared hosting, you're going to see the plans they have available, right? So they have the Stellar plan, the Stellar Plus plan, the Stellar Business plan, and all of that, right? So in the Stellar plan, it is $2.18 per month, right? And they'll tell you what each of them. So this one, you have a domain name, and you can host 3 websites on this plan, and they give you a number of gigabyte space and all of that. So this one has more: unlimited website, unlimited SSD, and all of that. Then also, this is the one I'm going to go for. So I'm going to go for this particular plan. So I'll choose it to get started. So when I click on that, they're going to ask me domain connection, domain name connection, connect a domain to your hosting plan. And they're going to ask you new domain or existing domain. Now, mind you, this hosting I'm buying now, I want to connect it to the domain I'm also buying now. So I'm going to select on new domain, right? But if I have an existing domain, or I want to use one of my existing domain, I'll just click on existing domain. Is that correct? So, but to teach you how it is simply, the process is very simple. So they're asking me now, this hosting you are buying now, which domain do you want to connect it to? Is it to a new domain or is it to an existing domain? Now, if it's a new domain, they will now ask you, is the domain already in cart or is a purchase you just recently made? Now, in my case, it's in cart because I want to buy it now. If it's something I bought maybe yesterday and I want to buy the hosting today, I will now say new purchase or something, right? So this, but just for the purpose of also showing you, if maybe it's an existing domain I want to connect this hosting to, I'll click on existing domain, and they're going to ask me the next question, right? Is he a Namecheap domain name or a third party, your third party domain name? Now, what they mean by third party is, did you buy the domain from Namecheap or you bought it from somebody else? So if, for instance, I buy the domain on GoDaddy and I want to buy my hosting with Namecheap, I can also do the connection. I can buy my domain name on GoDaddy, buy my hosting on Namecheap. But as a beginner, I'll advise you, if you're buying your domain name, you can just buy from the same company so that the integration process will be very simple for you. So you buy your domain name with Namecheap and you buy your hosting plan with Namecheap as well. So I'll just go back to say new domain name and I'll say already in cart. So when I come, they already show me that, okay, this is tobydavis.com, that's what we have in cart. And they say billing cycle. I'm saying, okay, I just want to pay for 1 year. So this icon fee is a must, so they add it to it. Now, as you can see, I have a hosting plan on my cards, and I have 2 domains. So I think I added one before, so I'm going to remove one. So, but this is the total of my fee, so I'll just go ahead to add to cart. Okay, so it brings me here. So this is where I do the correction because I actually have 2 domains in cart. So I have this one, so I'm going to remove it. I'm not paying for this. I'm just paying for tobydavis.com 1 year, right? And I'm paying for the hosting plan for 1 year as well, right? So this is what I have on my cart. So domain privacy, it is free, so you want to enable or to renew, enable. Then also you want to also enable or to renew on your domain name so that your domain will not go offline once that 1 year cycle completes, right? But if you have the money in your account and it's a long-term project you're working on, you can just pay for a number of years and it will be cheaper, right? For instance, I'm paying for 1 year. Now if I choose to pay for 3 years, I'm going to get a higher percentage off, right? But I don't want to pay for that year, so I want to pay for 1 year, right? Then you can put it on auto renew. And also, like I mentioned, you're going to create a Namecheap account. So on that Namecheap account, you can add your card so that once the cycle of your domain expires, it can automatically rebuild the card so that you don't have a downtime on your website. Because if your domain name expires, your website is going to go down because you need to pay to renew the domain registration. And the danger in that is, if your domain name gets expired, there's a window they hold it for you, and after that window somebody else can buy it. So if it's a business or a brand name, you want to put it on auto renew so that there's no chance for that. You just imagine Google, the domain name of Google expires and they don't renew on time and somebody else goes to buy it, they will need to pay a huge sum to buy it back. So you want to keep this on auto renew, right? And also your hosting as well on auto renew. So we can just do that. So this is the sum total of what I'm paying for. So domain name, this one is free, and the hosting plan, and you're good to go. Now we have SSL. I'm going to talk about it later, and these are other things, so we don't need this. So we'll just proceed to confirm order. We'll proceed to confirm order. So this is the amount I'm paying. Okay, so I'm going to put my card details so that I'll make payment. So I'll just change the cards that we'll have here. So So I'll just add a new card very quickly. Okay, sorry, this should go here. And I'm just entering my card details, so pardon me. Okay, and finally, okay, I've entered my card details. Then okay, this is also important. Maybe you may want to tick this if you are buying it for a client and all of that, but I will not cover that in this training, in this particular video. So remember to use this card for future, no, and billing address, yes, and then save this card, no. So I can go ahead to make payments now. So I'll just continue. Oh, I need to fill in some more information, so I'll just do that here. Toby Davis, this is that, and click on continue. So when I click on continue, it's going to load up and it's going to review my purchases one more time so that I'll know exactly what I'm paying for. So yeah, this is what I'm paying for, and I'm paying the sum of $35. So I'll just go ahead and make payments now. Okay, so it's processing that particular panel or dashboard that we manage everything. So all purchases made, so I can just go ahead here to download my receipt. So if it's for a client, you can also maybe do that, download my receipt. Let me put it here, download my receipt. Then as you can see now, they're giving you links. They say manage your domain, manage your hosting, right? So the first thing we want to do is to manage our domain, because like I said, the domain needs to be connected to the hosting. Although when you're buying, as we just bought now, we bought them together, you were already given the option to select, okay, which hosting do you want to connect this domain to, or which hosting or which domain do you want to connect this hosting to. So we've already been asked that question. So for instance, we're not buying it at the same time. At this point, you can click on here, this manage domain, to come to your Namecheap dashboard. So on this dashboard, you'll be able to manage your domain, right? You're able to manage your domain, and then you're able to point it to the hosting. But now, how do you do that? When you come to domain list, like I'm on my domain list now, as you can see here, I'm on this particular domain. So you select the domain. So you scroll down here and come to where we have name servers, right? So when you click on this drop down, there are 3 options here. So I'll just quickly go through this. So if you bought a hosting with Namecheap and you bought a domain with Namecheap, and you didn't buy them at the same time, so as you can see, it's already set on Namecheap web hosting DNS. That's because we bought them at the same time, and because of the question they asked us, which domain do you want to connect the hosting to, and we already said this particular domain that we're buying now, so it's automatically connected already, right? But assuming you're buying them separately, right? Maybe you have a hosting before, you want to now buy a new domain to maybe set up a second website, maybe for a client or something like that. Once you come to manage domain, you're going to select Namecheap web hosting if you bought or you have a Namecheap hosting that you want to connect it to. But if you have a third-party name hosting, maybe you have a hosting with GoDaddy, you select custom DNS, and it will now give you options to enter name server 1, name server 2, and you can add more name servers, right? Then you will now go to your your hosting account on GoDaddy and grab the name server details. It's a string of numbers, and you put it here and you click on this tick to save. But for this particular case, we're not doing that because our domain is also a Namecheap hosting. So we just select the second option. Take note, not the Namecheap basic DNS, but rather the Namecheap web hosting DNS. So once we select that, we click on save. So that is saved. So with that action, your domain has been connected to your hosting account, right? So the next thing we want to do is to go to hosting list. So right now I'm on my Namecheap account. So this is my Namecheap account, right? So when I click on hosting, as you can see, the domain name tobydavis.com is already linked to my hosting plan. Remember, I bought the Stellar hosting plan and it's active, it's on auto renew, and I bought it November 3rd. And they say go to Cpanel. So this is what I was mentioning about Cpanel. So Cpanel is like the hosting dashboard, so we usually call it Cpanel. So they say go to Cpanel, manage, right? So I'll just quickly do something so that I can visit my Cpanel without hitches. So I think I should also mention this. So what I want to do is to turn on my VPN, right? A VPN is like to hide your location or something like that. The reason I'm doing that is because I'm browsing with MTN, and MTN has an unstable MTN is like an unstable ISP. Once you're using MTN to browse, it changes your IP address once in a while, and if you use that to log into a hosting account that is on like a Cpanel account, right, it will be logging you out, because once your IP address changes, it seems maybe there's a fraudulent activity going on, so it will log you out. So that's a very big problem I just answered right now, because if you're using MTN and you go log into your hosting account, it will log you out and you'll not be able to do anything. You'll be wondering what the problem is. You log in, it will log you out. You log in, it will log you out, right? So the way to solve that is to have a VPN, right? There are free VPNs. This particular one is free, Proton VPN. So once you just connect. So once you get connected to the VPN, it's going to give you a static IP address, so that the fluctuating MTN IP will not affect your connection. So once I do that, I'll just go to the hosting account. So it's going to redirect me to the hosting account. So I'm going to do something for you now. This particular hosting account, okay, this is just the details of what I just bought now. So I can just click to go to Cpanel, so it loads the Cpanel for me. Now this particular hosting I just bought, I bought with Namecheap, right? And I have been redirected to my hosting account. As you can see, this is the hosting. This we call the Cpanel, right? Now we bought the hosting with Namecheap. Remember, if you are buying with a different company, do not worry about it. It is almost the same thing. I'm going to show you another hosting account that I have with a different company that is not even GoDaddy. You see that almost everything looks the same way, right? Almost everything looks the same way. So before we answer any other question, let me just quickly show you how that one looks. So this is that particular hosting. I think it's called Host Maria. So it's a different hosting account that I have, right? As you can see, everything looks the same way, right? So once you log into the hosting account, you're definitely going to see something like this, and everything looks almost the same way, right? So I'll just take you back to my Cpanel with Namecheap. So welcome to your new hosting. How may we help? So the first thing we want to do is to give you an overview of this Cpanel account. Now, your website information and resources are managed by this particular dashboard. So there are some places you will not play to if you do not have the experience of what they mean, right? So I'm just going to show you the ones that are important to you. So number one is Namecheap SSL. Now when you buy a domain with Namecheap, they actually give you free SSL, and SSL is like security. I'll explain that shortly so it will make sense. I don't want to skip. I want to follow through with my outline. So you can access SSL. You can access this place we call Softarticulous App Builder. This is where you install your content management system, and for this case we're using WordPress, right? As you can see here, it's under Softarticulous Apps Installer. So we have WordPress. Then you can access domains. Where is domains? Domains. So you can access your domain. So if I click here, I'm going to see the domain. I have only one domain right now, so I'm going to see my domain here. It's the main domain, right? You can access your domain. Then also there's what we call add-on domain. So remember, the hosting account I bought, I can maybe host more than one domain. So if I have a second domain that I want to host on this same hosting account, I can add it here as an add-on domain. Then we have what we call subdomain. So what subdomain is, for instance, I have a domain tobydavis.com, right? I could create a subdomain and call it training.tobydavis.com. Training.tobydavis. So that's a subdomain. So that's like a subdomain. So if my hosting account is a building, That's where all the resources of my website are stored. And tobydavis.com is the address of that compound. So if I have a subdomain, training.tobydavis.com, it could be a room. So in that particular room, that's where the resources, all my courses are. So if you visit training.tobydavis.com, it will not just take you to the building, it will take you to the particular room that has my training resources. So that's what subdomains are. So I will not just waste time here. It's just to give you a simple walkthrough of where and where you do not need to touch. And now Namecheap has a robust knowledge base, and also you can contact their support at any time. So these are what they call it, their knowledge base. When you click this, it's going to take you to a new tab. So they have a knowledge base that shows you how to do a lot of things. So if you have a question regarding domains or regarding hosting, you can just click on this place and it's going to take you to different articles, and you have a search bar. You can also type the problem that you have, maybe how to connect my domain, my Namecheap domains to GoDaddy hosting. You're going to see an article step by step to show you how to do that. Then also you have the contact support, and also when you come to this particular place, you have the go to live chat page. You can also chat live with the Namecheap people, so they help you with whatever problems you have, right? So what next? So hosting overview, which is what I'm doing now. So these are the places you need to actually go to. Now some places are a no-go area, especially when you are not an expert. So like I said, you'd want to go to Namecheap XSL. Then you can go to Softaculous App Builder, which is opened up here because this is where you have all the apps in terms of your content management apps and all of that. And I said WordPress is a very popular one, and that's what we'll be using. And another example is Joomla, and you have a whole host of others, but we'll be using WordPress. And very soon we'll be installing WordPress, right? So then something else I need to show you. Now we have email accounts. This one is also important. We have email accounts. Now there's something we call web mails or professional emails. So instead of gmail.com or yahoomail.com that is generic, you may want your email to be an extension of your website. So for instance, I have tobydavis.com that I just bought now. I can say admin or support at tobydavis.com. So the email is a professional email tied to my hosting, to my domain name. So this is where you create it under accounts, email accounts, right? This is where you create it under email accounts. So I can just show you quickly how to do that. And these are things people charge a lot of money for. Trust me, you can add it to your list of things you're delivering to somebody when you're creating a website for them, and that will add value to what you're delivering, and you're going to charge more. So I can simply create a quick one. I'll say, okay, let's say help at tobydavis.com. So you just fill the form, set a password. So I'll just enter my password that I want. Then I'll just click on stay on page after creating. Then I'll create, and the email account is created. Then to log into that email account, what you simply do is you just open a new tab. You just go to your domain name. I'll go to mine, tobydavis.com/webmail, and you visit it. So when you go to tobydavis.com/web, so in your case, it will be your domain name /webmail. So here you enter the email you just created, maybe help at tobydavis.com. Then you enter the password you used when you were creating, and you log in, and it will take you to your email dashboard where you can see your emails. But if you want to make things easier, there's another option which I'll just quickly show you as well, right? So I'll be doing this fast, so if you need to maybe watch the video a second time to get the gist, you can do that. There's what we call forwarders. So what you do is, having created an official email, maybe help at tobydavis.com, you may not want to be logging into your webmail like I just showed you here every time. So there's an easy way. You can forward all the emails that comes to help at tobydavis.com. You can forward them to your Gmail that you have already opened in your phone, so that people will send an email to help at tobydavis.com, but I will receive it in my Gmail, right? Maybe my Gmail is tobydavis@gmail.com, which is open in your Gmail app in your phone. So how do you do that? You come to forwarders, and you actually forward. Because I didn't create anyone, I would have seen the domain here. I'll forward it. You just choose the domain, the email account you want to forward. Then you enter the Gmail you want to forward it to, and you click on add forwarder. As you can see, example, forward joe@example.com to joseph@example.com. So any email that is sent to joe@example.com will be received also by joseph@example.com. So maybe joseph@example.com, maybe joseph@gmail.com, that you can easily have access to. So that's another extra freebie you can also add to your website package that will make your offer more robust. So that is that. So I'll just go back to my cPanel, right? So that's that for the cPanel. So there are a lot of other stuff here that you may not want to dabble into. A lot of options here that you may not want to dabble into. So Namecheap SSL, Softaculous app installer, which you have here. So WordPress, which we are going to be going through now, because the next thing we're going to be doing is to install WordPress, right, on our domain, because like I said, this is the easy way of building websites, right? And then you have the email account and the email forwarders, and you are good. Now next, let's talk about SSL. What is SSL? SSL is security on your domain, and I'll show you something very quickly. As you can see on my screen right now, there's a padlock here. And when I click on it, it shows me that this connection is secure. The reason for this is because this particular domain has what we call SSL. And I'll show you an example of a website that does not have SSL. So I'll say Toby.com, okay? Toby.com. Okay, I think I deleted this. A website that does not have SSL, a quick one. Train. Okay. As you can see, this one is not secure. This one does not have an SSL. So SSL is very important, and it's even an extra package that you can give to a customer while actually pitching a website idea to the person, because you can also install SSL, and it can be like an extra giveaway or add-on to your offer that you can also bill for. So as you can see, it doesn't have SSL. So a website that doesn't have SSL is a turn off. So people are not going to feel safe about the website. So imagine you have an e-commerce website and it doesn't have SSL. You will not be feeling safe to put your card. I just put my card in Namecheap because I trust the platform, I trust the website. So this is one mark of trust that your website needs to have. So SSL is like a security on your domain and on your website. So it is this padlock that shows that, yeah, this site is secure. So when you click on it, you see that it is secured. But for this particular case, you see that here's the one that is not secured now. Okay, this one, you see that it doesn't have a padlock, or it may have a padlock that is red. So it shows that it's not secure, right? And also, there's what we call HTTP and HTTPS. So I'll just come here and write it quickly, so you see what I'm saying. So we have HTTP. So these are the strings you write before you write your domain. So this is my current domain now. So in this case, this domain does not have SSL. When it has SSL, it will not be HTTP, rather it will be HTTPS. So see the difference? So this is one that doesn't have SSL, HTTP, then this is one that has SSL, HTTPS. For right now, my domain I just bought now does not have SSL. As you can see, no valid certificates. So if I click on it and visit it, you're going to see that it is not secure. I just bought it, say your website is ready to go, awesome, but it is not secure. So what I'm going to do is to install SSL. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So if you buy your domain with Namecheap, they give free SSL. So we'll just come here and click on Namecheap SSL. So when you click on that, it's going to ask you sign in with Namecheap, because you're in your hosting plan, so it needs to integrate with your Namecheap accounts. So just click on yes, go ahead, sign in with Namecheap. So I'm going to do that quickly. It's take a while to load. Awesome. So I've integrated my Namecheap account with my hosting account. Now you can see, say you don't have any SSL installed, right? So now what I'll do is to click on this other tab, installed via Namecheap SSL. I'll come here so I can install an SSL, right? So as you can see, positive SSL valid for 1 year, tobydavis.com in progress. So it's trying to install SSL already after doing that connection with my Namecheap account. So I'll just come here and sync. So before it will take a few minutes for it to install SSL. So once it's installed, it's going to show a green tick, just the way you have it here. It's going to show a green tick here to show that this domain now has SSL. And when I visit it, it will no longer be like this. It will no longer be like this, not secure. Rather, it will be like this with the padlock showing that it is secured. So I'm just going to be patient. Awesome. It's now active. As you can see, it is now secured. So if I visit this my domain again, you're going to see it's going to have the padlock, right? So this particular site is now secured. See it without SSL, not secured. The same domain, not secured, but see it with SSL, secured, right? So SSL is security, right? So SSL, check the full meaning of SSL. It's what? Secure sockets layer is a standard security technology for establishing an encrypted link between a server and a client. So it's actually provides security for your website and all of that. So it is important. You cannot deliver a website to a client without it having SSL, right? So it's better you charge for domain, charge for hosting, charge for SSL, so that even if you are buying your domain with a registrar that doesn't give free SSL, you can also charge for it and put SSL. So having done that, I'll go back to my cPanel. So the next thing I want to show you now is to install WordPress. So I'm showing you everything step by step, from buying the domain, buying the hosting, linking both of them together, right? Then how to install SSL, which I just showed you. So the next thing we want to do now is we're going to install WordPress. Now it is important we install SSL first, so that when I'm installing WordPress, I'll just install it on an already secured website or an already secured domain, right? So that's the process. Do it that way. That's the standard way of doing it. Do not install your WordPress first on an unsecured domain. Rather, secure the domain first with SSL, then you now install the WordPress. Now this is where I'll install my WordPress, because I'm already in my cPanel. But before I install WordPress, we're going to go back to my slide and talk about what WordPress is. I shared a brief on that in my previous training, where we talk about WordPress, and we said WordPress is a content management system, and it helps us to build websites easily because it is based on templates. So it's just a matter of you installing the WordPress. It's like an app you install, or it's like a theme you install on your domain, and you can now, from that theme, you can now have multiple templates you can work with, and your website will be live. Now, as is defined here, WordPress is an open source content management system that anyone can download and install into their website. Now, to make this distinction, we have WordPress.org. When you go to WordPress.org, it's going to open up a page for you, which I'm going to do right now. Then also, there's another one, WordPress.com. So these two, they are both owned by WordPress, or they are both of WordPress, but they are for different purposes, so that you don't get confused. And I don't think you even need to come here, because once you are in your hosting account, you can install WordPress directly from your hosting account, as you can see here. But I'll just show you these two quickly. So like I wrote on my slide, WordPress.org is the site people go to download the open source software. So if you want to download WordPress, because you can also install WordPress manually into your hosting, into your domain, but we're going to be doing it automatically right from our hosting account, because we already have it here. But if you want to do it manually, what you do is simply to go to WordPress.org, and this is WordPress.org. So on WordPress.org, you can get WordPress and download it, then upload it manually to your hosting. Then when you come to WordPress.com, this is where you buy maybe a hosting package and all of that. A WordPress hosting package and all of that. As you can see, there is pricing here. Normally WordPress is free. The content management system WordPress is free to use. So you download it, you install it on your domain via your hosting account, which I'm going to show you how to do. But I'm just showing you the difference between WordPress.org and WordPress.com. And for your own case, you do not need to do anything on WordPress.org or WordPress.com. Just get access to your domain and hosting, and from your hosting account, you can install WordPress already. And just to show you, this is my hosting account with Namecheap. Under Softaculous app installer, which is this, you're going to see WordPress. So also when you come to a different hosting account, like I talked about, like it's similar, you realize that we have the same options. We have file manager, just like we have file manager here, just like we have email accounts forwarders, just like we have PHP MySQL, we have domain, subdomain, and all of that. The same thing applies to other hosting accounts. It may just look slightly different, but it is the same, right? Right here we also have email account, email forwarder, We also have PHP, MySQL, and all of that. We also have domain and subdomain. We also have security, SSL, and all of that. Then we also have one-click app installer. This one is called one-click app installer, but for Namecheap they called it Softaculous app installer, but it's the same thing. So from right here you can easily search, say okay, I'm looking for WordPress, and they say it is arranged alphabetically, so you can just scroll down and you know that WordPress starts from W, and this is WordPress, and you install it already, right? So but from Namecheap we just have it here and we install it. So on wordpress.org you can also download the raw WordPress file and upload manually, but that's not for you because I'm showing you the easy way. Then also you can come to wordpress.org and maybe buy a WordPress plan. There's a free plan you can start with if you don't want to spend money to buy a domain or a hosting yet. Then you have premium plans that gives you domain and hosting and all of that. So WordPress also sells domain and hosting, just like Namecheap and GoDaddy does. So enough of that. So let's go right now and install WordPress. I've told you what WordPress is. It's a content management system that we install on our domain, and it gives us access to an ecosystem where we can use templates and all of that to build our website instead of coding from scratch. So let us install WordPress, which I'm going to walk you through. So on your Namecheap Cpanel dashboard, you click on Softaculous app installer, or you can simply search from here and say WordPress, and it's going to come out, right? And say WordPress, and it's going to come out WordPress managed by Softaculous app installer. So as you can see, it's already here too. So what you just do is to click on WordPress. So when you click on WordPress, you allow it to load, and once it loads, it's going to bring you here. So you might want to read all this information just for the purpose of understanding what's going on, features, screenshot, rating, and all of that, but we're not interested in that. So but you can go through that so you know how things work. But what we're going to do now is to install now. So we'll just click on install now. So when we click on install now, it's going to bring us to this page. So on this page, this is where we select the domain. So assuming I have more than one domain, I will see all of them listed out here. Also, if I create a subdomain, I will also see it listed out here. So it will ask me which of the domains you want to install WordPress on. Then, like I told you, it is good to install SSL on your domain first before you install WordPress. So that is why right here now I can choose HTTPS because I already have an SSL installed on my domain. If I don't have an SSL installed on my domain, it's going to trigger an error that no certificate was found. So it will force me to use HTTP, right? But because I already have SSL, I'll just choose HTTPS. Then you're going to leave here blank, and this is showing you the WordPress version. So you just leave it at what it is. That's the most current version. So it's going to ask you to name your site. So I can just put a dummy name, which I can easily change at any time. I can say Toby Davis. Can say just a little description. All this information can be changed from your WordPress when you've started building your website. But just to put something there, say Toby Davis. I can say coaching, mentoring, and changing lives. Hope I know how to spell changing lives. Right? So then you leave all this blank. You don't need this for now. So as a higher user of WordPress, you may know what all these things mean, but I will not go into it now because we don't need it. Then right here you have your admin username and admin password. So what you want to do is you have to put something here that is solid and strong, because this is what you will need to log into your WordPress admin account. And if somebody gets access to it, they can actually corrupt your site, they can hack your site. So you need to put a password and an admin username that is strong, right? So I'm going to put something strong right here. I'm going to put something strong right here. And I'll use a strong password as well. So let me take this. Okay. All right, so once you put your username and password right here, you'd then fill the next part, which is admin email. So what you want to do is, if you have a web mail or an official email created already, you might put that there, but I'll just put my email so that I can always get access to change things up. Then right here you can select your language. Then here they say select plugins, so you can actually, I'll talk about plugins later, but for now you can just untick this. Then you can select classic editor and you can just leave this. You can read the tooltip information we have there and all of that. Then you move down. Then these are themes. We'll also talk about themes shortly, but we'll leave that out for now. Or we can just select one of these themes so that our website looks okay. We'll just select it. Oh no, let's not select any of these themes yet. So we'll just come over here. Then they said before you click on install, they said email installation details. You can put an email address there that you have access to, so that in case you forget your password or your email, you can always be able to access it and also change it. So you put an email address there that you have access to. Then you click on install and wait for a few seconds, and WordPress is going to be installed in a few seconds. So while it's installing, okay, this is the table of content. We've talked about choosing a hosting plan, picking a domain. We've talked about SSL security, and now we're installing WordPress. So once we're done with that, I'm going to talk about accessing your WordPress backend and frontend and explain what that is. Awesome. There was an error while downloading the popular FX plugin. Okay, no problem. So basically, congratulations, the software was installed successfully. So WordPress has been installed at https, because it is secure, tobydavis.com, and the administration URL is https://tobydavis.com/wp-admin. Now this first one is actually your website front end, so I'll click on it because it's actually your domain. So this is the domain. So we're making progress. So from just a string of name, we now have a website. And remember my website title, it was Toby Davis. And if you come here and hover on it, it's going to tell you, as you can see, Toby Davis, coaching, mentoring, and changing lives. Right? So this is my website up and running. So there's still more to be done. We're going to install a theme, we're going to customize and all of that, but I'll show you all that. Then secondly, so this is your domain, tobydavis.com. So this is where people visit. This is where visitors come. This is where clients come. This is where prospects come to, right? But then we have another URL, which is tobydavis.com/wp-admin. So I'm going to click on that right now. So when I click on it, it's going to take me to my WordPress admin, right? It's going to take me to my WordPress admin. So welcome to WordPress. So this is the WordPress admin, as you can see. So this is where I do my customization and clean up my website and set it up completely. Right now I'm going to log out so you see how it looks, because it logged me in automatically because I'm logging in from like an admin user, my Cpanel. So it logged me in automatically. So I'll just log out so that I can log in afresh, so you see how it is. So when you come to tobydavis.com /wp-admin, as you can see, it's going to take me to this place. So right here I'll put my username and my password and I'll click on login. So I can go ahead now to grab that so that I can log in again. So put my username and I'll put my password and I'll click on login. So once I log in,
it's 2 o'clock.
Awesome. And once I log in, it's going to take me to the WordPress dashboard. So this brings us to the next stage of this training, the WordPress dashboard. So I'm taking it step by step, so you see the process from buying a domain straight to linking them up together, installing SSL, installing WordPress, and now accessing your WordPress dashboard. This is the front end of my website, tobydavis.com, and this is the back end or the admin end, tobydavis.com/wp-admin. Then you put your password and your username and you log into the admin. So the next thing we want to talk about is the WordPress dashboard overview. So this is my WordPress dashboard, right? So there are a few options here and it is very easy. When you click on dashboard, it's going to bring you to this view. So you can maybe take time to read through so you just have an idea of all these things, but we're not going to be doing that in this video. Then there's this option of updates. Now WordPress is updated. It's just like an app, right? It's updated. Right now the latest version is version 6.1, and that's what I installed because I just installed. So if there's any update, you can click on update here to tell you, and it will bring you here. So you see, oh, you have the latest version, so it's telling me. So assuming I have an older version, I can install the latest version. Then also there are other details here and all of that. So I'll just go back to my home, which is this. Then next you have posts. So this is where you create posts. So for instance, you have a website, and the website has a blog part of it where you post content, right? So this is where you create it. So you have the all post. Let me click on it. You have add posts, you have categories, you have tags. So if I click on all posts, it's going to take me to a different view which is going to show me the posts. So there's a default post that comes with your account. So we can click here to edit it. We can click here to quick edit. So quick edit gives you a few options, just to change the name, to change the slug. What we mean by slug is, for instance, my domain name is tobydavis.com. So whatever you put here is going to be tobydavis.com/hello-world. So I can decide to change this right here. So it's quick edit, right? Whatever I update here, I will now update it right here, right? And I can cancel. But if I click on edit, it's going to take me to edit the actual post. Then you can click on trash. Then we can click to view. So I'll just right click on this and open on a new tab. So we see what we have. So this is the post, hello world. So if I want to edit this particular post, I can come here and click on edit, and it's going to give me an option. So I'm going to write more information. I'll just copy this and post it multiple times. Then I'll click on update. Now if I visit this particular page again, you're going to see that it's going to have more information. It's as simple as that. This is the beauty of WordPress. I don't need to code. I don't need to do anything. The website is coming out already, right? The website is coming out already. Then I have a form here. I can remove these things if I don't want them and all of that. But that's not the purpose of this training. I'm just giving you a walkthrough of the WordPress dashboard, right? So the next option you see after post is media. So right here you can manage your media. So your images, your videos that you're going to have on your website, you can upload them right here, right? And you're going to have them all here. So you can upload your photos, your images and all of that right here, your audio files and all of them. You can upload them right here, and you have them to use inside your WordPress account. So the next thing we're going to see is pages. This is where you have your WordPress pages. And what do we mean by WordPress pages? It is simple. Your WordPress pages are simply, if you watch my first video, which I encourage you to watch, is the video before this one on the channel, right? We talked about web pages. So a website is made of multiple web pages, right? So if for instance I'm on a website, let's say a website like GoDaddy, right? This is a web page, and it is the home page because this is where you visit when you get on the domain. Now if I come to hosting or e-commerce or security and whatever, I can click on hosting. Now it's going to open, okay, I can click on web hosting. It's going to open a different page for me. So this is a different page now that talks about hosting. I can say no, I don't want to see that. I want to look at e-commerce and commerce and marketing. It will take me to a different page. So these are all pages. So this is where you manage your pages in WordPress, and some default pages also came with it. So the reason it's like this now is because we have not installed a theme. I will explain what a theme is next. So let me go through the WordPress dashboard overview first. Then next you have comments. So right here you can manage your pages. Before I forget, here you can manage your page. You can add a new page, you can delete an existing page, you can preview, you can edit and all of that. Then you have comments. So for instance, you have a blog post, like we have posts here. People can make comments on the post. For instance, let me show you that quickly. In this particular post now, somebody can make a comment here, and let's say, hello Toby, how are you doing tonight? I've not slept, that's how I'm doing tonight. So I can post a comment. So once this comment is posted, like I told you, the internet is now read and write. So I'm not just viewing with information on the website, I can also interact with it. So I've posted a comment. So when you come to your dashboard, this is where you manage comments. So when I click on comments, you're going to see that particular comment. As you can see it, it was posted by this person, and hello, I can see, and you can reply to the comment, you can unapprove it and all of that. So this is where you manage comment. Then this is where you manage appearances, and this is where we'll be coming to next. Under appearances, this is where you can install your theme, and I will talk about theme next. So a theme is like a template. A theme is like a template, right? So we have different kinds of templates. We have templates of hotel websites, we have templates of real estate websites, we have templates of hospital, we have school website templates, we have different kinds of templates, right? So based on the project you're working on, it will inform the kind of templates you want to work with. Like I said in the beginning, web authoring, planning, and researching. So that's what we inform the kind of theme or template you want to work with. So this is where you manage your templates, right? So there are some free templates here. You can also access more by coming here, add new. You'll be able to access more here. Some of these themes we have here are free, and some of them, they are free to an extent, and they have a paid part of it and all of that. Maybe for some more features you have to now pay. Then also, if you buy your theme elsewhere, which I'm going to show you a theme market where we actually buy theme and get variety to choose from. Once you buy it, you download it. This is where you upload it from, right? So if you have your theme downloaded from a theme market, which I'm going to show you when I'm talking about theme fully, after buying it, you download it, then you now upload it right here. Once you upload it, it comes and you see it here. You can now activate and all of that. So this is where you call appearances. So once you've installed a theme and activated it, you have more options under appearances, and I'm going to walk you through it when we're talking about customizing your website. So the next thing we have here is plugins. So what are plugins? Plugins are like add-on. So maybe you have a website that you're building on a particular theme. That theme may not have a particular function. Say for instance, you want to build a website for a transport company, and they need this particular functionality of monitoring a parcel, so that when somebody sends a parcel to the company, they generate a pin for you that you can come to their website, and with that your pin, you can monitor the progress of your package. That okay, the package have left Port Harcourt, is now in Abuja, the package is now in Kafanchan, the package is now in London, okay, the package is now in the New York. And now the theme you have doesn't have that functionality. That's where plugins come in. Plugins are used to add extra features. And also when you come to plugins, we have a number of free plugins and also paid ones, but a number of free plugins. So these ones are just installed. So I think I don't need this. I'll just deactivate it. So we have a number of free plugins. So when you click on add new, you're going to see tons and tons and tons of free plugins. You can search right here to get whatever plugin you want. So a number of them are free, and a number of them have free plans that you can also use to an extent before you have to pay. So, but you do not need to be paying for plugins, because a number of them are free and they do awesome stuff. So if there's any feature you want in your website, it's just to look for the right plugin, and it's going to plug that feature in. So that's why it's called plugin. I hope that makes sense. Then you have users. So this is where you manage users to your account. So for instance, I only have one user because I just created the account. So I can create multiple users and give them restricted access. So if for instance you want to give somebody access to your WordPress backend, which is very delicate because this is the admin of your account, you can create and maybe the person wants to help you design a particular page. You can create a limited access and create that user and give the person limited access, and you generate a unique password, and you don't have to give them your actual password. So you can assign role: contributor, author, editor, administrator. Administrator is the highest role. That's what you as the owner are. Contributor, maybe somebody that maybe you are running a blog and you want somebody to come and be posting content, so you don't have to give them your actual admin login details. That has to be secure, because once your admin details is over and everywhere, it's going to bring security issues to your website. So you want to keep that very safe. So author, the same thing, editor, maybe a page editor or something like that. But the highest level is administrator, right? So that's for users. Then you have tools. So under tools, you have some options here where you talk about importing, exporting. So if you want to import for instance, there's a way we used to build website, then we download the website into a file, then we can import it into a different domain. So for instance, if I have a website on tobydavis.com, tobydavisonline.com, and I want to move that website to tobydavis.com, this is where you do it. So I will not just talk more on this. And then we have settings. So under settings, we have general settings, we have writing settings, we have reading settings, discussion settings, and all of that. So, but the more you use this particular, or the more you get familiar with things, the more things get easier. But that's just a quick walkthrough of the WordPress dashboard, and it's really straightforward. Have you seen anything like code? No, because everything is really straightforward, right? Now, having walked you through the WordPress dashboard, now let's talk about themes. Let's talk about themes. Now, what are themes? Like I said, a theme is basically like a website template. And I'll just come to themes right here. Appearance, come to themes. A theme is like a website template. So say for instance, you want to build a transport website or a hotel website. Now, you don't need to, the beauty of WordPress is that everything has been done for you. It's just for you to get the perfect theme, install it on your domain, and customize to fit your need. And your website is live. Unlike the developers, they will have to code for weeks, for months, just to get that same thing out. And now, shock, WordPress is also based on codes, just that we are not the one writing the codes. Developers have written the code. Like I showed you, what's the definition of WordPress? It's an open source content management system. So open source means that it is not developed by one person. Developers around the globe are contributing to it. That's why it's very robust. It's not one person developing it or one person building it or writing all the code. So developers from around the world are contributing to make it robust and make it seamless and all of that, right? So that is why all you need to do is to get the right theme. So I'm going to introduce you to a theme market. We call it Theme Forest. So right here on Theme Forest, you can get access to tons and tons of theme. It is paid, but you get access to tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of themes, right? So I'm just going to take you to Theme Forest. So this is where you research themes. So you can say, okay, I'm building a WordPress website. You have so many options here to choose from. So you can say, okay, I'm building a WordPress website, I'm building a hotel. So you can say hotel in WordPress and you search, and it's going to bring so many themes out for you. So many themes that you can choose from. So I can say, whoa, I think I like this. So what you just do is you can click on live preview to see, okay, if I buy this theme and I install it on my website, how will my website look like? So that's where you click on preview. When you preview, if you install this particular theme on your website, this is how it's going to look like. So it's still loading. This is how it's going to look like. Beautiful, right? So imagine you installing your domain, buying a domain and a hosting, linking it up, installing WordPress on it, and then buying this theme and installing it on the domain. And in a matter of minutes, this website is live. All you just need to do is to maybe put actual pictures of the hotel here. Then, like I told you, web authoring. Then you have your content, change this text to what you want, change this image to what you want, change these images to the actual images of the hotel, and your website is live. It's as simple as that. And you can say, oh, I don't like this particular theme. You go back, there are tons and tons and tons of them. So much, right? It is paid. So if you are building a website, the actual cost is buying a domain, buying a hosting, and buying a theme, and that's all. And you can buy a theme, a multi-purpose theme, and use it for so many clients, so that it will just be a domain and hosting cost that you pay, and you can charge 150k, 250k, 500k, a million naira for a simple website, right? So this particular hosting theme now, it costs $59. This one costs $64. So it's just for you to look for the best theme that fits what you want. There are a lot of templates here, and there are also generic templates, like I said, that can fit a number of industries. So for a beginner, you may want to buy something like that, so I can use to work for multiple clients. Then if you want to now work on maybe some kind of advanced kind of project or premium projects, you can also build and you buy a theme that works best. So for this instance now, a hotel theme like this will already have all the features of booking, so you don't have to bother about all that. Everything is actually pre-done for you, right? And also everything is pre-done for you. So that's what themes are. So it's Theme Forest. So you come here to search for themes. Right? And now the beauty of WordPress is that they also have some free themes, just like they have free plugins. So you can come to add new, and under add new, you see lots of free themes. These are all free themes. Some of them are totally free, then some of them are partially free. Partially free meaning you can use them, but some features are locked. So if you need more features, then you have to buy the premium version. Then you can come here and search and say school website, school. When you click on it, it's going to bring themes on school websites, as you can see. So imagine you get a job to create a school website for a school. You can just come here and choose one of these websites. I think I like this one, and click on preview to see how it looks. And beautiful. This is a full-blown school website, right? This is a full-blown school website, so that once you install this theme, this is how your website is going to come out, right? This is how your website is going to come out. As you can see, this is how your website is going to come out. A full-blown school website, and you have tons and tons of them. Tons and tons and tons of them. So that's what themes are. So you get the right theme and you install. So you have themes, multiple, many themes, right? That's about themes. And I'm also talking about themes. It's good to also mention that you do have free themes, but I'm not going to show you the platform to get free themes, because sometimes some of those free themes, it may come with bigger problems where people upload free themes and they put virus on the theme, so that when you install it on your domain, they can attack your website from there. So for that reason, I'm not going to show you how to get free themes. So if you want to get any free theme that is clean, do it from inside of WordPress, right? Then if you buy your theme from Theme Forest and you download it, you upload it right here. Click on upload, choose file from your local computer, upload it. Once you choose file, you click on install now, and it automatically installs, right? So that is that for themes. Then the next thing I want to talk about is plugins. Like I said, I already mentioned it. Plugins is apps that helps you to plug in more features to your website. So if, for instance, you already bought a particular theme, or you have a particular generic theme that you used to use for clients, and now the clients needs a specific feature, right? You can come. For instance, now if you want a website to have your WhatsApp chat widget, so have the WhatsApp chat widget, sometimes your team may not have that as an inbuilt feature. So you can come to plugins and you be able to get a chat widget for that. So once you come to plugins, you click on add new, and you just come to this search and say WhatsApp, and it's going to bring a lot of options for you. Click to chat app, and you can install this, and with this you can actually deploy a chat widget on your website. It's as simple as that. So the next thing I want to talk about is customizing your website. Now, before we get to that stage, that's the last stage. So we have to install a theme first, so that we can now talk about customizing. But before we install a theme, I'm going to say this. Before we install a theme, let me say this. Now, when you buy a theme, right? There's some things you need to take note of. So whether you are installing a free theme right here on WordPress, or you are buying a theme comes with what we call documentation, and it is super important, because the documentation will tell you, okay, this is what the theme can do, this is what it cannot do, this is how to install it, this is the plugins that the theme can work with. Now, there's what we call page builders. Now, I told you that the different web pages of your website are found under pages. But now, when you install a particular theme, not all theme works with all page builders. For instance, look at this particular theme. They already tell you they are fully compatible with Elementor page builder, and now Elementor is a free page builder. So this is like a plus for this particular theme, because when I install it, I can easily get the page builder plugin for free to easily edit it. So these are the things you look out for, right? So once you buy a theme, you have to look at what they call the documentation. So once you buy a theme and download it, the first thing you want to do before you even upload that theme to your website is to look at the documentation. And documentation will tell you how to upload it, how not to upload it, what to do, what not to do, what plugins it is compatible with, what plugins it is not compatible with, what page builder it is compatible with. That's very important, because it is a page builder plugin that you're going to use to edit and customize your website. So you need to know the page builder plugin that is compatible with. Then some of the themes comes with their own inbuilt page builders, which is okay, right? And all of that. So you need to read through the documentation very carefully from top to bottom, so that you are well informed and don't run into any problem, especially as a beginner, right? Especially as a beginner. So you read through the documentation. So having read through the documentation, the next thing you want to do is there's something they call demo data. I'm going to show you all that once I install my theme now. Demo data. What is that? You can install a theme and it will have this basic framework. But if you want it to come with all these pre-designed details and web content, fine images, fine graphics, text, and all of that, you have to install what they call demo data. And when you read the documentation of your theme, you're going to see how to do that. It is different for different teams, and the demo data also varies for different teams. So when you read through the documentation of your theme that you are installing, you have the full gist of how to do that, right? So it is important you read the documentation before you go ahead to do anything with your theme. So while you read the documentation, it's going to show you how to install the theme, what to do, what not to do, how to install the demo data. And like I said, for instance, this particular theme has a number of demos. These are all demo 1, demo 2, demo 3. It is one theme. That's the beauty of this also. This is just one theme, but it has different demos. This one looks different from this one, it looks different from this one, it looks different from this one. So imagine I have 4 clients and I'm supposed to build a hotel website for them. I can use one theme to work for all of them, and the websites will all look different. As you can see, all these websites looks different. They are all different demos. So when you buy this theme now, you can use it for multiple 10, 20, 30 hotel websites, and they will all look different because they have different demo. As you can see, multiple demo, 5 demos, 8 demo 8, so many, right? And now the documentation will tell you how to install demo. You can say, okay, I like this demo 2, this is what I want to use for this particular client. No, I like demo 3. It will tell you how to install that particular demo, right, for that particular theme. So that's very important to take note of. I hope that is okay. So the next thing we want to do now is let us install our own theme. So to do that, from appearance, click on appearance, you come to themes. So when you click on themes, you come to add new. So when you come to add new, like I said, you can get free themes here that you can practice with, but do not go and get a theme from it. You can Google free theme and they will show you how to get free theme, but it is dangerous because many a time those free themes comes with virus, and it can damage your entire system, your hosting and everything. So you don't do that. It's that you buy a theme from Theme Forest, or you can use one of these free themes to practice, right? And also, just to mention before I forget, for those of us that maybe we do not have money to practice yet to buy a domain and a hosting, I'll create for those of us that are serious, I can go ahead to create a free domain for you, a subdomain. I will install the WordPress because I will not be able to give you access to my Cpanel because that is very sensitive, right? But I will create I will create a domain for you, do the SSL and stuff and all of that, install the WordPress, and I'll share the login details to the WordPress to you. So from there, you can now come and you have this dashboard to play with. You'll be able to install your own theme, customize and all of that, right? So let us install a theme. So like I said, we have so many free themes here. Some of these themes are completely free, but they are very basic because they are free. If you need a theme that does robust stuff, you come to Theme Forest and you make purchase, right? So but for the purpose of this training, I'm just going to install one of these free themes. Okay, I'm going to go with this one, right? So I can just come and click on details and preview, and I'll see this is how the website will be. You see, it's so beautiful. So if I install this particular theme now, the only thing I need to do is to change content, change text, maybe change background image, change this image, and I have a full-blown website already. And I'm going to show you how to do all that very quickly, right? So now this website, as you can see, it has many options: home, about us. These are different pages, projects. So I can use this to create a personal website for myself, right? And now there's see all demos here. Like I told you about demos and what about documentation. So documentation will tell you everything about that. Learn more will also tell you, but I don't want to go there. So let's see all demos. So when you click on, okay, this is not clickable right here, so no wahala. So this is the theme, and I think it is beautiful and it is free to an extent. So I'll just install this particular theme. So I can go back, I can install it from there, I can just come here and install it. So once I install it, it will now be part of my installed themes. So after installing it, I can now click on activate. Now, before you go ahead, I told you about documentation. Look at documentation here. So you have to read this documentation to understand how this theme works and know the particular plugins it is compatible with and all of that. So this is an example of how a documentation looks like. So it's loading, so it's going to see documentation. It's going to tell you, okay, it's a super fast, easily customizable multiple post theme. It's for this, for that. It's compatible with okay, see, it's compatible with what Elementor Builder, Breezy Builder, Beaver Builder. So reading this documentation, I already understand, okay, this is what I need to do to work with this particular team. So you read through it, don't be lazy, read through it so that you know exactly how to work with the team. So right now I have read and I know that this particular team is compatible with Elementor Builder, and Elementor is a plugin, right? It's a plugin, it's a builder, it's a website builder plugin. So this team may not come with Elementor or come with a particular builder. Some teams come with their own inbuilt builder, but this one does not come with. It only lists out the ones that it is compatible with. So when I haven't read the documentation, it tells you all those information. So you know that, okay, to work with this particular team, I need to install this particular Elementor builder. And thankfully, this particular Elementor builder is free. Now, it's also compatible with WooCommerce. So meaning you can make this your website, an e-commerce website to collect payment, because WooCommerce is like a plugin that has that e-commerce feature for payment collection and all of that. So you want to read through the documentation, and they will show you everything, how to use everything. So read through documentation, very important. So I'll come back to my team, right? And it is active already, so that if I visit my website now, because I have installed the theme, my website will not be blank anymore. Okay, it is still blank. Let me show you how to do that. So when you come to settings, you realize that you come to read settings, you see that home page displays latest post. That is why this page is showing a post. So instead, I will change it to home page display a static page, and I will, okay, before I do that, I need to do something. I need to install the demo. Right? So to do that, I'll come, as you can see, I'll just come here, I'll click on nav options. Once I click on nav options, okay, I'll click on starter sites. In order to be able to import any starter site, so this starter site cannot be called demo sites, because as you can see, my website is still blank and plain. So but I've installed a theme, but it's still blank and plain because I've not imported what we call the demo, right? And when you read the documentation of a particular theme, it tells you how to do all that. So that's what I want to do for this particular plugin now. And now this plugin has a pro version which is paid, but we're using the free version. So I'll just come here and install and activate. So this is me trying to install the demo or starter site, as the case may be. Now, as you can see, this particular theme is a multi-purpose theme. As you can see, it's a multi-purpose theme. It has so many demos. Some of them are premium, some of them are free. As you can see, this one is premium, this one is free, right? This one is free, this one is premium. So some of them are free. So take, for instance, I want to build a personal website, fitness, photography, architecture. I'll just look for the one that is free, so that we can just take, for example, you want to build a website for a lawyer. We can use this as an example. Let's use this as an example. So, and it is free. I can come here and preview and see how it will look like. Awesome. So I think I like this one for a lawyer. So I think I'll go with this one. So I'll just import. So when I import, it's going to ask me, what do you want to be imported? I'll just, everything as it is ticked. Now, take note, this importing of this particular demo or starter site may not be the same for the team you're working on. So that's why it is important to read the documentation. So I'll just import. So it is importing the plugins that work with this particular team, importing the content, importing the customizer settings, importing the widgets, importing the performance features, and it is fully imported. Now I can view my website. So How awesome is that? So tobydavis.com, let me show you something. This is the first time I visited the site, and it said your website is ready to go, and there was no SSL. So the next time I visited it, we now had SSL, but still it was an empty page. But right now, check this out. I have a lawyer's website. So imagine I have a client that paid me to build a website for him, and he's a lawyer. I can just come here, take this thing, and build a website for him. Now, with pre-content, pre-layout, and all of that, the only thing you are not required to do is to change text, change images if you have images, change text content. That's why I talked about web authoring at the beginning and all of that. I'm going to show you how to do that. So, but basically, my website is live, tobydavis.com, and the website is live. It's as simple as that, right? It's really as simple as that. So now I'll go back to the WordPress dashboard. So I haven't installed the theme now. The next thing I want to do is to go to plugin so I can install my builder plugin. And to do that, once I click on plugin, I'll click on add new. When I click on add new, now this classic editor is a plugin, it's a website builder as well. But for this particular theme, we want Elementor. So you just come here and type Elementor and search it out. Elementor and search it out. So this is it, Elementor website builder. So I'll just click on install now, right? And then I'll click on activate. So once I do that, this plugin is now activated. So I'll just go back here. I don't want many of these details. Also, Elementor is a free plugin. It has a pro as well, which is paid, but the free is enough to do what you want to do. As you can see, I've installed it and it is now here. So but I don't need to go there. So now what I need to do, I'll just go to pages. As you can see, I now have pages. Before, I have only this privacy policy and sample page, which are like demo page that comes with WordPress. But right now I have more pages because I have installed a theme and I've imported the demo. Now let me view the front page of my website, which is this. Beautiful, right? Now I can edit this particular page. Let me show you how to do that. And right now we are in the last part of our training, which is customizing and adding your own content. So by now you should have already gotten all your content and images and graphics. So what you just need to do now is to, okay, let's edit this page. So to edit it, you click on edit. When you click on edit, you see the page here. Let me show you something. These are codes. Do you understand all this? I don't either, but these are codes. This beautiful page you are seeing here, that is just text and image and fine. These are the codes that form it. But this is the beauty of WordPress. We don't have to bother about all these jargons. We come to the visual and we see actual stuff. And even more than that, we're going to edit with Elementor Builder. So I'll just click on edit with Elementor. So once I edit with Elementor, it's going to take me to the editor of the website. So this is my website live. So right now I can start editing it and adding my own content. So I can say, so what you just need to do to edit is just to click on maybe whatever part you want to edit. So for instance, I want to change this to my own text. So I'll click on it, or this particular first one. Let me change the first one. So I'll come here and say Toby Davis Law Firm. Toby Davis and Associates rather. And it will be changing in real time. So imagine I was supposed to use code to do this. Toby Davis and Associates. I can say, okay, I want it to be bigger. I can highlight it and increase the text size. Okay. And play with it, right? Let me leave it here. Then I say, okay, let me change this content they have here. An experienced law firm based in Abuja or based in West Africa. As you can see now, let me use Abuja as I to enter 2 pages. Abuja. How cool is that? Then you want to change something else. Okay, practice areas. So you can come here, practice areas, impaired driving. You can say, okay, no, I want to put this. So this is where web authoring comes in, where you already have your predefined text and information that's going to go where. Then you can also change images. You can also change images. When you come here, you can change images. For instance, there's a background image here. So what you do is you come to style, or come to style. Okay, that one is not there. So edit section. Okay. Layout. Okay, let's change this image. Let's see. Edit image. Edit. So when you click on it, come back here. So right here you can come here and say, okay, I want to change the image. So you click on this edit. As you can see, this pen icon is edit. I'll click on it. It will give me an option to change. I can say, okay, no, I don't like it, or the size is too big, or the size is too small. I can update all of that here. Then I can click on update that I want to change the image, or rather I'll come here and say, okay, I want to change it. Right, I can say replace, and I'll go to my laptop and I'll grab a quick image to replace it. Let's say this image, and I'll upload it and I'll replace. So this is how it works. So let's say, okay, this my image is small, let me make it bigger. So I'll come here and I'll select a bigger dimension, and it will be bigger, and I'll click on update. So it's as simple as that. So this one is now updating the contents to what you want. So okay, I have offices in how many places? Can come here and change. So no, I have 12 offices, right? 1,000 cases, have 20 years experience. So, and when I'm done, I click on update here. Then you click on this eye icon to preview, and all your changes come out in real time, and your website is live. So that is all, guys. So I have a website live already. Okay, you can see that this text is not showing well, so I may want to touch that. So probably I'll just leave this as a paragraph, and maybe come to styling, text color, maybe choose a color and all of that. As you can see, it updates the color. So I can just I won't update because I don't like this red color. So I think I like this one. So let me see the website. Okay, there's supposed to be a this shape here. So I think I removed that at a point. So what do? So you just come back here and ensure you have that on. So I'll just preview. Okay, let me change the text color back to white. Oops, it wasn't white before. Okay, it was black, which is cool. So basically, that is all you need to do, right? That's all you need to do. And now you can always go back to your WordPress dashboard. So I think this training is it has covered all you need to cover: buying your domain, buying your hosting, linking both together, installing SSL and the importance of SSL, installing your WordPress, accessing your WordPress dashboard. We also did an overview of the cPanel or hosting dashboard overview, then also WordPress dashboard overview, how to install your theme. Take note of reading the documentation of the theme. You can also buy premium themes on themeforest.com, right? In any niche for any kind of website you want to build. But for now, you can also play with the free themes you have inside of WordPress, and you also have a lot of plugins inside of WordPress that are free, right? Then the next I want to show you is this appearance. You come to appearance, you hover on it, and it brings a number of options. Then you click on customize. When you click on this customize tab, it's going to give you a number of options where you can also further customize your website. So it brings you to this place. So right here, you can actually like I said, this particular theme is paid, so probably if you want more options and you love the theme, you may want to pay for it and get it. But more than that, this place you can be able to customize a lot of things. You can customize layouts and say, okay, I don't want it contained, I want it full width, and the website will no longer be contained. Look at it. The website seems to be contained, but you can change it to full width. Let's leave it the way it is before. You can customize container width, as you can see, right? You can look at how your website looks on mobile and how it looks on a phone. It's as far as it's a team that you're working with, it's all those things are already done for you. So your website will have great mobile responsiveness, right? If you were coding, that's a different job on its own. But for a team, everything is pre-done for you. Then that's that. So you have a lot of options right here. So you also have the header. You have the header. You can customize it and all of that. You can change your logo. So I have a logo here, Toby Davis. I'll just leave it like that. You can change your header color. You can change your menu options. So right here you have a number of options. You can change your what they call it, colors and background. You can change your footer. As you can see, the footer I have here. Sorry, let me take this back to. Let's take this back to tab desktop, right? So you have a full view. So I can come here and say I want to edit my footer. So this is how you edit your footer, and the website is fully customizable. So in order not to stress things further, I think we have covered the basics, and with this you can be able to start the process from start to finish, right? If there are any questions, you can leave it on the comment section and we'll do well to cover it all, right? So if you've not subscribed to the channel, make sure you do, right? And also you can like this video, drop your comment on the comment section, and then tell me if there's any area that you need clarification on. You can also point it out so that we can also clarify things for you. So this is the website design class from start to finish, and I hope this was well explanatory and it answers all your questions. So thank you for watching. See you on the next video. Bye bye.